And then, thankfully, the bright spot in the program, MJF. Keep the camera on him. It's a safe shot every time. Leave it to my boy. He showed them how to have a as the kids call it, squash match. You know, by the way, that's a newsletter term also. You know, that's not like really a wrestling term.
Right.
But I mean, do the folks out there in podcast land out in the cult of Cornette, are they aware of that? I wonder.
There's a lot of newsletter terms that are now accepted as being Carney terms, although they never really were.
Yeah, well, there's a squash match was what the early newsletter writers, I don't know if it was Uncle Dave or whoever it was, basically termed a match between a top guy and a job guy that you knew who, you know, what was going to happen. But the reason why that they were always accepted on television was because the story was told that does Muhammad Ali fight Joe Frazier on TV for free in a studio? No. These are matches with young and upcoming aspiring professionals that want to get in the ring with the big stars, and the big stars aren't going to take TV matches against names for free. They have to go to the arenas and get paid. And so everybody said, okay, well, we understand this. And then that way the big stars beat shit out of people and got over. Here's the only guy that's been able to figure this out. Instead of goddamn working competitively like it's the main event at Starrcade 86 with fucking Josephus, the fucking wrestling clown or whatever. I forget. Josephus is a goddamn goofy fucking Southern name, but I forgot now there's a wrestler named Josephus. Everybody will think I'm knocking him. But fucking Arnold Finster versus MJF. It was Lee Johnson here. It doesn't make any difference. The point is the heel is supposed to go out and act like a heel and a prick and bully the guy he's obviously better than and show what he can do and fucking taunt people and get heat. That's exactly what MJF did. He was cocky. He toyed with them. He was aggressive. He was heelish. Old Lee J, well, you don't have to call me Johnson. Well, you could call me Lee. Well, old Lee J fired up and got one chop across the chest, and MJF slapped the fucking piss out of him. And I wish they were mic'd better. This is an entire empty arena. You still couldn't hear the guys breathing. In the WWE, you could hear their fucking hearts beating. It's like a goddamn ultrasound audio. But anyway, slapped the shit out of him and dropped him like a bad habit. And then he kicked it in, MJF did. Then he was like, oh, now he slipped on the ice a little bit. Let the guy have one, and now he's pissed. And he chucked him out on the floor and beat the shit out of him in front of his fucking friends and taunted people. And that's where I wrote, I would have loved to have called this, because the announcers, I think, a combination of bored and numb from the previous match, and there just wasn't. I wanted to hear JR or somebody go, look at this kid. He's got it all handed to him, and he thinks, he what's the phrase that JR used all the time? He was born on third base and thinks he hit a triple or whatever the fuck. Anyway, tear MJF down as a person, but they didn't do that. But anyway, and also, that's the thing. He took his time for the time he had. He didn't hit the guy with too many things, but he kept moving around. He fucked with the ringsiders. And then finally, he hit that shoulder breaker, which didn't look too bad, and got the arm bar and got the tap out quick. The guy shouldn't have to wait very long. And I've mentioned how I hate tap outs because they're bland for these monsters they're trying to get over. Well, this guy's exactly the opposite. He's a cocky, arrogant prick that now has a hold that he can fuck people up with. And everybody knows it's a shoot hold. If you put it on and it looks good, it's a shoot. So and everybody can see what's going on. It's not like this close-in thing where it looks like a fucking chin lock or whatever. So that's the kind of guy he hits the big move. Then he fucking gets the fucking arm, cranks it up, and the guy taps out, and he holds it just a little too long. All of his mannerisms, all of his body language, all of his facial expressions, everything fit the fucking picture. Then he does a little promo. I don't know. They should have had him for 5 or 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 minutes earlier before his match from the locker room talk, instead of giving us these goddamn awful outlaw girls matches or his fucking self-indulgent tag team twattery. But even though he had just worked, he cut a pretty good promo afterwards. Jungle Boy at the pay-per-view. Marco stunt next week. This will be the acid test. If MJF can figure out a way to work with Marco Stunt and not have it be offensive to the sport of wrestling, I will salabim him as the greatest mind in history next to Eddie Graham. Anyway, talking about Jungle Boy, talked about Marco Stunt. Here was one. Why did the referee not take old Lee J out? He's laying there. It's a distraction. It's a distraction for two reasons. One, it's a distraction because there's a prone body laying there when all attention should be focused on MJF. And two, because he had to lay there for so long, it's a distraction because now he's phony, because wouldn't EMTs, if a guy was actually down that long, pretty much motionless, wouldn't the referees and the EMTs and somebody be checking on him, trying to give him some oxygen? A lot of times people say, oh, do that so that you can cut the promo over the fallen guy. Well, if you're going to say something for 15 seconds, fine. But if it's a top guy and he's laying there, it buries him. And if it's an underneath job guy like old Lee J, then it becomes phony if he lays there too long. So get the fucking meat out of the goddamn ring. Otherwise, Nat, great promo and a perfect match with a job guy. I wonder if anybody, now that they've actually seen somebody do it right, can figure out how to copy that and do it from here. What do you think?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. There's not a lot of... No, it just doesn't seem like there are a lot of people there who have a thought and hone in on it and make it a good thought and execute it in a positive fashion. It's just too much of, hey, let's do this, and then we're going to do this. And I just, MJF stands out. I mean, that's the good thing. MJF stands out because he is so much better than just about everyone on that roster. Promo-wise, and the little bit I've seen of him in the ring, he shows more promise than anyone.